Okay, so where were we from the last time? I don't know. There's too much going on. Where does photography fit in? What has HoodRide done? HoodRide gave me a creative outlet. Monday to Friday was work. We need to do something on a weekend, so it became photography. At first it was pretty much everything cars. I wanted to be at every car show, I wanted to be at every car meet, constantly checking socials for car events and whatever. Eventually, as the illness progressed, we couldn't keep going to a lot of things, and the more you use the visual resources, the quicker the degradation. So currently my literally orders from the doctor is a low visual demand. Currently I am trying to sort images out so that I may potentially put them up for sale, and screen usage is limited, but yet here we are, because we don't have a team of people, we don't have editors, we can't afford editors. Very few people in life have had their lives drastically altered at early ages. At the age of 31, when most people are like, locked into that stretch just before 40 where you like giving it everything for promotions and whatever, climbing the ladder, so to say. I had to give up my career to save what little bit was left of eyesight. Let's switch this off for a little bit. So obviously I had to save what little bit I had left. That took a huge amount of mental strain, because while growing up and going blind, you put all your eggs in one basket because you couldn't do anything else. You needed a guarantee, so you focused all your efforts to one aspect of your future. And then that kind of crumbled. Fortunately, the career that I had allowed me to sustain the photographic hobby, and I'm entirely grateful that I was able to reach a certain level in my career that allowed me to, at the time I didn't know what it was, but if I look back at it now, it was an investment. A good investment. Yeah. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about making money. Most people that are passionate about photography eventually they want to make money from it, you know, especially in today's time, because they would charge $300 for a photo shoot just because, you know, it's my hobby, it's my side hustle. And then someone whose day job it is comes in at a higher price point with longer delivery times, and people it's like, why are you so expensive? There are cheaper people. Let's not get into that. I do feel that this is an extremely difficult art form to consistently stay relative. It's very difficult. I'm obligated to tell people about my condition when they inquire, especially people who don't know me. So a lot of times when people hear that, okay, the dude can't see, automatically it's we'll get back to you, and then that's cool. You are basing my skill set due to your lack of understanding. And this is the different thing with sighted and impaired individuals. If a sighted person put on a blindfold at any given time, they can take it off. If a sighted person had a blindfold on and they were constrained or restrained, put it that way, no bondage, but like, for experimental purposes, if they were to hear a sound, the first thing they'd want to do is take that blindfold off to see what it is. You have no idea what it is like when the blindfold is permanent. Blindness is not, it's not just black, it's not just darkness, it's just not there. You can't see your nose, but you know it's there. It's the same thing with, you can't see it, but you know it's there because you familiarize yourself so much with it. When you're a kid, where's your nose? And you like an idiot, showing people, here's my nose, like, yeah, that's where your nose is. That's how God created you, and He placed the nose there. So nobody knows your nose. Let's not drift off into the negative just yet. No. Anyway, but you get my example. So with blindness, it's, if you are in a familiar area, cool. If you are in an area where there's a lot of moving parts, it's a bit difficult. If you are in an area where there are more moving parts than most, or in an area where the layout is altered occasionally, it's very difficult, because the way I have had to learn things is, so long as something is stationary, my mind needs to register that it is there. So you can imagine how difficult it is when up to twice a day a certain layout changes, and it changes drastically, sometimes by measurement also. Not to get into details, but it becomes very difficult. So you have to use a little bit more mental power, because you can't be agitated and be like, yesterday the disc was here, why is it half a meter that side today? You can't do that. So you just have to go with the flow. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to function in an environment where the moving parts are not aware that there are other moving parts. And then you, as a visually impaired person, need to take that into consideration, that every other moving part doesn't realize that they are amongst other moving parts. And it's chaotic. Yeah, it became so chaotic that I couldn't even make it a year. And then a few days ago, I went to the racetrack. And the racetrack is home. Like, it's home away from home. Racetrack is where you go to clear, to declutter, you know. You pick an engine, you sit in one spot, and you listen to that engine as it runs through all the gears. And if you listen carefully, you can tell the difference when a driver or a rider is chasing a lap time, or they're comfortable where they are and they just want to make it to the end of the race because maybe a breakage just can't be afforded, you know. Motorsport is an extremely expensive passion, if I can say that, hobby. Same thing with the art form within the motorsport industry. You are chasing frames per second, you know. The things are moving so fast that you need click 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 at a very high frame rate if you are wanting to compete at that level. That's quite difficult. So will I ever return to the racetrack as a hunter? I prefer that term. I like that term. I don't know. There are certain things that I require in my current state for me to be able to pursue motorsport imagery with the intent to print it. There are a few things that I need, and they come at a cost. Obviously, I'm too blind to have in my possession a driver's license, so the first thing is getting around transport. The sale of the images are firstly going into me getting around, because if I am to spend a day at the track, it has to be on my time. I cannot feed off someone else's time, because they may not have the entire day. They may only have a few hours, and for me, I may need to rest in those few hours. So it's very difficult to try and keep up. I don't want to give up. I would rather still try and produce work that is of a certain quality, and a quality that is worthy of putting a price on it. Transport is one thing. I'm a person with a degenerative illness, so if I am to pursue the art form in the genre of motorsport, I'm gonna need a lot more visits to the doctor to make sure that things are okay, and then I may go out again. So I'm literally on a time limit. This is the reason why the need to sell my images. I cannot, because I'm a person with a disability, I cannot function under normal circumstances. I cannot function at the normal rate of work, simply because after a day of shooting, it's come down to a good couple of days before I can really, start getting back into things. So it does take a toll on me. So what I'm asking is for people to support what everybody has. I'm fighting blindness. I don't want any tech. I don't want any, futuristic sci-fi cameras where my eye is to project an image to my brain. No, I would like to stay human, as humanly possible. So yeah, That's part of it. Until next time.